Hello everyone, and welcome to our first section of notes in statistics. Remember that, like you should have watched in one of those introduction videos, this is the lecture guide for our first section. You can find that underneath the Exam 1 materials and the lecture guides folder. And it's definitely advised that you have this out in front of you, have your own copy, so that way you can be going through and filling things in as we kind of progress through the content that's listed here. So let's go ahead and dive right in. To start with our first section here, we have to kind of at least lay some of the groundwork for some of the important pieces of terminology and ideas that are really the foundation of statistics. So we start here with a unbelievably boring and uninformative book definition, but let's see what it would say. Statistics and the semester is ultimately going to be about collecting, organizing, summarizing, and analyzing information that we commonly call data, to draw conclusions or answer questions. Okay, so that doesn't really tell you much unless you kind of already have been through statistics before. But we'll see here that the general breakdown of this course is we're going to be discussing how we do each of the following types of things when we're asking big real-world questions. We're going to be interested in how do we collect data in order to reach a conclusion about an important question? How do we organize and summarize our data? How do we analyze the data and reach good, or at least the best possible conclusions that we can? And can we learn how to state how confident we actually are in the conclusions that we draw? So, as I state down here, why stats? Like, what's really the purpose of being in this course? What's our goal? Well, the goal or the purpose of statistics is ultimately to try to answer questions about large groups of objects, whether these are actual items that I could like pick off the shelf at a store, maybe these are large groups of people that I want to know something about. And the goal is to ask really big questions about, ultimately, a really large group of individuals. So I might ask a question like, what percentage of all people in America are, going to vote Democrat in the next election? Like, I don't know. You don't know. I don't think anybody actually knows the precise number, but maybe we're going to be interested in getting a guess, right? And we'd like to try to get that guess without actually having to go around and ask every single person. So we're going to try to answer questions about a large group of objects or people by really only looking at some of those objects or people. So here are a few kind of examples of that. Companies will often try to make decisions, maybe about the quality of all the products that they produce in a given time period, by only taking and measuring specific quantities or qualities of just a few of them. So again, the goal is I want to know something about all of products manufactured, but I'm only going to try to make that educated guess based on an analysis of a couple items. Sociologists might try to summarize the behavior of all children that come from broken homes. Maybe they want to know something about them, but I can't possibly imagine tracking down all children from broken homes and giving them an interview. That's just not feasible. So can I do that by only interviewing a few of them? Maybe a sports analyst is trying to determine the chances that a World Series would be won in exactly 4 games. That would be considered a sweep. But maybe instead of going ahead and attempting to observe every single possible World Series that has ever and will ever occur, which is an impossible task, then maybe we could look at some of the series that have already been played and use that as kind of a jumping off point for making a guess. So you'll kind of notice that in each of these different scenarios, there's this kind of question about all, this big question, and we're trying to answer it by looking at a small group of items. This is always going to be the goal in statistics, and we can't lose track of this as we move forward in the semester. That our goal all the time is to say, I want to know something about all the people, or all the objects, or all the students in the class, or whatever it happens to be, and I want to try to make an educated guess as to what that mystery value might be by only quickly doing a small little kind of test group of items. In fact, in the next video, we'll take a look at a first such example down in example number 1 to try to get a sense of how exactly this statistical process and these 4 parts really come together to help us answer big, difficult questions.